Hello everyone, my name is Kyle Kinsler and today I am back with a brand new project update on my blockchain simulation project. So today really all I'm going to be doing is a quick little summary of the entire project and a little bit of what I've been doing for the last 3 weeks or so. Now this video will be approximately 5 minutes long, maybe 10 minutes, but nothing more than that. So in this video, I'm going to be covering what little updates I've done, and one of the most difficult things that I've been going through recently is having some problems and some issues with the project and kind of where to take the project. So as you can see, we'll get going on the video now. So as you can see, the front end, this landing kind of page has kind of pretty much stayed the same. Apologies. Um, so I'll click on the hamburger menu and I'll click on blocks. So this is the blocks component where we see the blockchain, and I'm going to be referencing all my past videos. So if you haven't watched those videos, please do, because today's video is just going to be like a little summary of the entire project and the little updates and challenges and problems I've had with the project. But if you've seen the last video, this component hasn't changed a whole lot. But one of the coolest parts I've done is, and I'll show you in the video in a second, is each time a block is added to the chain, it gets shown to the front end. And previously what would happen is if you wanted to mine, I don't know, say 500 blocks, you would have to wait for all those 500 blocks to be mined, and then they'd be shown to the front end. But now what I've done is each time a block proof of work is found, it's added to the chain. So what I'll do is I'll just say I want to mine, we'll say 100 blocks. So I'll click on mine blocks. So we get told you're about to mine 100 blocks. This might take a little while. So click on OK. So the blocks are being mined. So we have to keep, and there we go. So now we have the Genesis block 1 is the Genesis block, and then block 2 is the next block, and I'll actually click on show block data so we can see the second block, the data in the block, third one, fourth one, the fifth one. The fifth one's the last one, but there might be a potential. Yep. So there's another block made, the sixth block, the seventh block. So I think this is a little bit more intuitive, a little bit more realistic. So when a block proof of work is found, it's added to the chain straight away. So on my blocks backend, I've already mentioned this in my previous videos, but when you type in this value, it's sent to the my blocks backend, where I pretty much validate and verify if a block has found a proof of work field. So currently we're on iteration 74. So we have to keep waiting till we get to block 100. So this is all that really changed in this component. It's a very minor change, but has a pretty big benefit at the end of it. So we're on iteration 94 at the moment. So we're nearly done. 99. And we are now finished mining. So that's shown on the front end that we were mining blocks, but now we're done. So out of the 100 blocks that we were trying to mine, only 19 of the blocks found a valid proof of work field. So that's kind of the blocks component. So I'll just click on return home. We can go back in and we can see the blockchain, and we can mine more blocks and do as we wish. Then I'll go into the wallet, and again, I've already made a video on importing and creating a wallet, but I'm just going to show you what I've done in here. So the only real difference in here is the styling. So the styling has been changed significantly. So I'll click on import a wallet. So if in the last video it wasn't looking particularly good, So I've now updated it such that the wallet, importing your wallet, looks a bit more user friendly. Then creating a wallet, just navigate through that. Then we'll click on view. So now you can view your seed value, and it's much more user friendly. So same here when we're at the final step, and there we go. I won't create the wallet or even import the wallet because I've done these in the past videos and it's fairly straightforward. And one feature that's incredibly simple but I added to this component was this button here, go back to wallet setup and then brackets very start, because I was actually testing this locally myself at home, and if I wanted to, I was on this component where we are now, and I wanted to get back to the very start, I would have to click each button to manually go back. So I was like, that's a bit of a pain in the hole. It's not ideal. It's not great user experience. So I was like, I'll just add a button. So when I'll click the button, which just brings us back to the very start of our wallet setup. So that's all that really changed in the wallet, is just styling. So I'll click on return home and we're now at the home. So now what I'll get into is the governance, the DAO hub. So I'll click on enter the DAO. And again, if you've seen the last video or videos, I've went into good detail of how my DAO works. So I won't be explaining in detail how it works, but all that's really changed in here is some styling. So what I'll do is I'll just run you down through the wallet, but I won't really explain it because I've already done so. So we'll connect our wallet. So the first wallet's connected. Then I'll make 2 more wallets. So we have 3 wallets connected to the DAO. There's currently no bids in the bid history, so I'll reveal today's reward. So today's reward achievement card is Genesis Miner. So we have the date, the current bid, and when bidding is over. So what I'll do is I'll copy this alias name, put him in, and he's going to bid, say, 65. So he's going to place bid. The bid is placed successfully. The current bid state updates. The bid history was saying that there was no bids, but there's now been a bid, so that is now shown here. And Dingbat was what was typed in, and he typed in 65, and the bid has been placed. And Dingbat, behind the scenes on my back-end infrastructure, he has a corresponding wallet address, so that's what the bid history shows. Another thing that I did in the DAO is that previously the first wallet, I was here first, would persist, and the other N wallets, so wallet 2 and 3 wouldn't persist. But if I refresh the page and scroll back down, you can see that wallet 2 and 3 now stay and they persist. So that's the DAO. I've went into detail previously in the previous videos, so please feel free to reference and have a watch of those videos if you have not already. So I'll click on go back, I'll refresh, I'll go into view proposals and candidates, we'll submit a proposal. So in here, again, nothing major has changed. The treasury is 65 because that's what Dingbat bidded in the DAO. So all that's really changed in here is styling, and I forgot to mention, I believe, in the DAO, all that's really changed in here is styling. So in the previous video, it didn't look particularly great, but I believe it looks much nicer now. So I'll just go into view proposals and candidates. So all that's been changed in here is how everything kind of looks. So the form is a little bit tidier. There's currently no proposals. The voting is a little bit tidier. There's no votes, and there's no accumulated votes. So what I'll just do quickly is I will make a proposal. Let's open Monesius and we'll just put in I need a drink. I'm very thirsty. We'll leave out emojis. We'll just put exclamation mark. And then requested funds to use out the treasury, we'll say 20 funds. So we'll submit a proposal. The proposal's created. And as you can see down here, current proposals, there's no proposals. We'll click on OK. Now our proposal is shown to us. And then I'm going to vote for that proposal. So I'm going to say proposal 1. Rikiest is going to vote and he's going to vote for. I'll just scroll down. You can see that there's currently no votes and there's no accumulated votes for this proposal. So these two things at the very bottom, just above the go back button, they will be populated in 1 second. So the vote's been submitted. I'll click on OK. And we can see that Rikiest has voted for proposal 1. They voted for. And then we can see the accumulated votes for each proposal. And I don't know if I outlined this in the last video, but this was another thing that I worked on, is that in the last video in the proposal and candidates, so this section of the project, you would have to click a button. So when a proposal was made, you would have to click a button to see all the proposals. You'd have to click a button to see all the current votes, and you'd have to click a button to see all the accumulated votes for each proposal. But I was like, that's a little bit silly. That's not great user experience for the end user. So what if I just show when a proposal is made, we can just show it in a table like structure for the user to just see and glance at. Saying when somebody votes, we can just see who has voted and the accumulated votes. So that's all that really changed in here. Again, if you haven't seen the last video, please feel free to watch it. But I've already outlined how the core functionality works in the previous video. So I'll just click on go back. I'll click on return home. I'll click on return home, and I'll just refresh. So that is the entire video done. But before I finish this video, I'd like to just outline one major thing. So I've been developing this project over the last 3 weeks or so, and it's been going very good. But what hasn't gone so good is in my last LinkedIn post, when I made the last video, I outlined that I was going to develop a peer-to-peer network and an Ethereum virtual machine. Now, this is where the difficulty of the project kind of came up. So I was building out the Ethereum virtual machine, my own kind of version of it. And when I was developing it, it kind of occurred to me, this seems like a very good idea, but it felt like it was a good idea, but it didn't feel like it belonged to my blockchain project. It's more of a interpreter / compiler low level kind of project, so like a separate project, instead of kind of incorporating it to my blockchain simulation project. So I kind of decided to just abort that feature and just leave that. In terms of peer-to-peer network, that is something that I would really like to develop for this project, because that's kind of how the blockchain works and how decentralized systems work, such as Ethereum and Bitcoin and Solana and all these different chains. But I've been doing a bit of research, and I'm having a bit of difficulty because trying to develop your own peer-to-peer network on your own from scratch is extremely difficult and complex. So I'm trying to develop it, but it's not going great. So I'm trying to do a little bit more research. So that might potentially be coming into play into the project, or it might not be. Um, so they were the two things that I mentioned in my last video. Um, I have a GitHub repo for this project, and I have some potential features in the README, such as blockchain forking. Generally, a blockchain should not fork, because then we need to come to consensus of which chain do we pick. Do we go on the top chain or the bottom chain where the fork has occurred? And that's something again that I'd like to do, but it's easy in theory, but in practice it's quite hard to implement and code up. Um, so I'm as of right now, the blockchain project kind of has four parts. So the blocks, the wallet, the DAO, and the proposals and candidates. And it could potentially have more features, but I'm having a lot of trouble with the peer-to-peer network. It's very complex networking your own distributed, um, decentralized system for communication. And blockchain forking, it's easy in theory, but coding your own blockchain to fork and come to a consensus of which chain to pick is actually quite difficult and complex. Um, so they're the difficulties I've had, and what I done over the last 3 weeks was roughly approximately 3 weeks was working on the blocks. So when a block is mined, that's automatically shown to the front end, and kind of making the project just look a bit nicer for the end user. Um, so before I finish up, um, if you guys, sorry, if any of you guys are watching this video and have any ideas of what I could add to my blockchain simulation project, I'd love to hear some of your ideas. It could be anything. I'm not exactly sure, but if you could give me some ideas, I'd love to hear your ideas. So feel free to leave those in the comment section. Leave a like on the video. If you can share the video to your friends and family. If you're working on a team and a job, please feel free to distribute my project because the more people that see it, the better. So thank you very much for watching, and bye bye.